One major development going on now involves more to do with Rachel Zegler and her attitude towards South Park Studios and Paramount after learning about what they are planning for their upcoming special called the DEI Special.
The Walt Disney Company absolutely panic over the last few weeks. They're mad at South Park because they're making fun of their woke ideologies, constantly race swapping or religion swapping everything in their movie.
What happens when a rising Hollywood star clashes with one of the most savage shows on television? Rachel Zegler, once hailed as Disney's new Snow White, just became the center of a pop culture storm after South Park brutally mocked the film.
Only this time, it wasn't just me. They were taking all my favorite people and replacing them with diverse women complaining about the patriarchy. Will you check under the bed and make sure there's no Disney executives under there?
The internet exploded, and so did Rachel. Behind the scenes, there's chaos at Disney, PR panic, and rumors of a complete corporate meltdown. But how did we even get here? And is Rachel Zegler's career now in real danger? This isn't just about a cartoon roasting a movie. This is about backlash, broken trust, and the moment a billion-dollar franchise unraveled in real time. Stay with us, because what you're about to hear might change how you see Disney, Snow White, and Rachel Zegler forever. The drama began innocently enough. Cast as the new Snow White, Zegler, already praised for her role in West Side Story, seemed a perfect choice. She had the vocal chops, acting talent, and Gen Z appeal. But from the moment Disney announced the casting of a Latina actress for a character literally named Snow White, controversy brewed. Some fans felt this was a progressive and necessary evolution, an embrace of diversity in modern storytelling. Others, however, accused Disney of straying too far from the source material, calling it an unnecessary overhaul of a fairy tale with deep cultural roots. But what truly sent things into overdrive were Zegler's own comments and interviews.
Just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
In 2022 version of Snow White, what did you mean by that?
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, Zegler said at one press event. She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about being the leader she knows she can be. Cue the internet explosion. Critics accused Zegler of dismissing the original film entirely, framing her remarks as not just a modern interpretation, but a rejection of what made Snow White iconic in the first place. Conservative outlets jumped on her statements, framing them as woke overreach. Meanwhile, even some progressive fans found her tone off-putting, suggesting that instead of honoring the past while updating it, she was scorning it. Things got worse when South Park aired a scathing parody, portraying a fictionalized version of Disney execs frantically trying to silence their star.
I'm scared, Mom. Will you please just look and make sure Kathleen Kennedy isn't under my bed?
Kathleen Kennedy is not under your bed.
Can you check the closet?
Eric, enough!
As she launched into tone-deaf monologues about the patriarchy. The animated Zegler character was shown as arrogant and unhinged, delivering empowerment speeches that left everyone around her bewildered. It was exaggerated, of course, but satire stings the most when it hits close to home. Behind the scenes, Disney was reportedly in full-blown crisis mode. Anonymous sources claimed publicists were scrambling to contain the backlash, with some even blaming Zegler for inflaming an already delicate situation. With South Park's parody going viral and social media users amplifying every misstep, the damage control effort only intensified. And this wasn't just about internet noise. Internally, Snow White 2025 was already experiencing its own creative chaos. reports emerged of multiple reshoots, script rewrites, and a third act that had been overhauled more than once. One insider described the set as tense and paranoid, with a growing rift between Zegler and her co-star Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen. While Gadot remained largely silent in public, rumors swirled about passive-aggressive clashes and creative disagreements. What's more, the pressure wasn't just on the cast. It was suffocating the entire Disney leadership team. CEO Bob Iger, who had returned to the role in late 2022 with hopes of stabilizing Disney's rocky performance, now found himself entangled in a cultural flashpoint. Iger was known for handling crises with finesse during his first tenure. But this was different. This was messy, personal, and painfully public. Observers began questioning whether Disney had lost its grip on how to handle modern reinterpretations of classic material. The studio's recent reboots, The Little Mermaid, Peter Pan and Wendy, and Pinocchio, had all received mixed to negative reactions, with accusations of lifeless storytelling, awkward modernization, and brand fatigue. The company was stuck between appeasing new progressive values and retaining its traditionalist fanbase. The Snow White backlash made one thing clear: there was no winning formula anymore. Every creative choice felt like a potential landmine. And while Disney tried to ride the wave in silence, avoiding direct confrontation, the absence of a unified communication strategy only added fuel to the fire. Fans and critics filled the void with their own theories. Was Zegler being punished? Was the film being delayed again? Did the South Park parody force more last-minute edits? Some speculated that an entire musical number had been scrapped to reduce Ziegler's screen time. Others believed the evil queen's role was being rewritten to appear more sympathetic, perhaps even heroic, in a desperate bid to shift focus away from the controversial lead. And amidst it all, Rachel Zegler began to appear isolated. While she had her supporters, many of them praising her for speaking up and challenging outdated tropes, she was also branded by critics as ungrateful, condescending, and out of touch. Casting directors, producers, and industry insiders watched closely. Some questioned her maturity in navigating such high-stakes publicity. Others feared she'd been thrown under the bus by a studio that failed to protect her. It's a familiar tale in Hollywood, the rising star who soars too fast, only to be caught in a storm of public scrutiny. The irony? Ziegler's original intention may have been to bring empowerment and nuance to a classic role. Instead, she became the centerpiece of a cautionary tale about how not to market a remake. As the release date approached, the online chatter only intensified. With every canceled talk show appearance, every vague Instagram story, every delay or leak from production, the anticipation wasn't about whether Snow White 2025 would be good, but whether it would be an outright disaster. Even if the film managed to be visually stunning or emotionally resonant, the baggage it carried might be too heavy for audiences to ignore. And South Park's parody didn't just target Rachel, it mocked Disney itself, depicting executives as clueless, panicked puppeteers trying to stuff the genie back into the bottle. While exaggerated, the satire mirrored real-world concerns. Was Disney out of touch with its audience? Was its strategy of remaking beloved classics still viable? To some viewers, the animated ridicule was just good comedy, roast of Hollywood absurdity. But to others, it captured a deeper truth, that Disney's struggle to modernize its stories while preserving their heart had finally reached a breaking point. So where does this leave us? Rachel Zegler, once hailed as the next big thing, now faces a complex legacy, one shaped not just by her performance, but by everything that surrounded it. Bob Iger and Disney, meanwhile, are left re-evaluating their entire strategy. Do they double down on reboots? Do they pivot away from controversy? Or is it already too late? One thing is certain, the Snow White 2025 saga will be remembered. Not just for the film itself, but for the chaotic PR, the satirical firestorm, and the way one actress's honest commentary snowballed into an unstoppable avalanche of scrutiny, meme culture, and public spectacle. In the end, the fairest of them all may not be the one holding the mirror, but the one who survives the reflection it casts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments. Was this just a misunderstood attempt at modernizing a fairy tale, or a colossal misstep that Disney should have seen coming? We want to hear your take.